welcome to another episode of Asexual, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live now or post a new video. And don't forget, give this video a thumbs up as we go along if you're enjoying the content. Always good to give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And it also gets these videos higher up in search engine rankings so that we can spread more awareness of asexuality. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexuals.com and the founder of Asexualized Academy, which is the world's first online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality. So welcome to Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, day 22 we're on. If you didn't know what Asexual Perspectives Month is all about, I founded it when I released this book. I published it, I should say, in 2017 in the printed version. It actually came out January 2017 in the Kindle version, and then it came out in the printed version. The printed version can be bought from Amazon or all good bookshops around the world because it's under my own publishing company of Quirky Books. The links are down below if you want to check them out. And also, this book is celebrate our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. So every day for the whole of July, I read some excerpts out of the book so that we can celebrate different perspectives of all different, viewpoints of asexuality. So tonight's topic is, what is sexual attraction? So what actually is sexual attraction? So if you didn't already know, I'm a heteromantic asexual. I get attracted romantically to guys, but I don't get sexually attracted to them. I don't experience sexual attraction. And asexuality is defined as the lack of sexual attraction. But the full definition is the lack of sexual attraction and or little to no interest in sexual activities. So what does a lack of sexual attraction actually mean? Do you actually really know what it means? Because if you don't know what it means, then how can you know if you're asexual or not if you don't know the definition, you don't understand it? And so anyone who's new to asexuality might get very confused because sexual attraction is not the same as arousal, for example. These are two different things, but they can both go together well. You can feel aroused because you're sexually attracted to someone, or the arousal can just be in and of itself without experiencing sexual attraction and wanting to actually have sex with anyone. So let me take a few excerpts from this Asexual Perspectives book and let's have a chat about it. And then you can tell me in the chat what you think a lack of sexual attraction means, or, what is sexual attraction, basically. So I'm going to take a story now, and this is from my Asexual Perspectives book. You can read along with me if you got the book. This is on page 96. So asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction. As an asexual, what does this mean for you? It means, like, this is C.A. Altman's story. It means I've never experienced sexual attraction. I know academically what it's supposed to feel like, and I can see it in others. I've never looked at a person and burned to have sex with them. I think that's really important because I think, that basically sums it up really well. I've never even thought of having sex with someone when I look at them or think about them. Me neither. I experience other forms of attraction instead. Mostly, instead of thinking of having sex with a person I'm attracted to, I admire them in a few different ways. I can recognize a beautiful person or someone who could be considered hot or smoking, and I appreciate it. But more like anyone else would appreciate a well-painted canvas. It's gorgeous, but I don't want to fuck oil paints and cotton. Gross. There are also times when I look at a person and think I'd love to get to know them, to learn all their deepest secrets and stay up until 5 a.m, snuggled together, watching classics and eating ice cream while discussing philosophy and the psychology behind an actor's portrayal of a character. And occasionally I might see a person and think I'd love to be physical with them. That is, go hiking, camping, biking, or just hug. Share a moment of brief mutual love and then never see each other again. So for me, I really relate to C.A. Altman's story. You know, I mean, I've never, ever, ever looked at a person and thought, I want sex with you. Do you know what I mean? Give it to me now. I've never done that, you know, in my life. And that basically is what sexual attraction is. It's a need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. That's what it is. It's when you look at someone and think, I want sex with you. That's what sexual attraction is, you know? It's where with a specific person and you feel sexual attraction for them, like an energy that what makes you want to have sex with them, you know? And how do I know this? Because I can feel it. I can feel guys, because I'm only attracted to guys. I can feel guys who are sexually attracted to me. I can feel their sexual energy. I can feel it around me, which I'm not comfortable with. You know, I prefer to be around asexual guys because I don't have that problem. And, you know, my ideal relationship would be intimate on some level, but with kissing and cuddling with clothes on, you know, and holding hands. Lots and lots, though, of kissing sessions. That's what I like, kissing, way, which a lot of asexuals don't even like. But, you know, I do, and I really relate to, you know, to learn all their deepest secrets and stay up till 5 in the morning. Personally, I don't want to watch TV, but I'd love to like sit up and chat with them and kiss them and cuddle them, you know, just for hours and spend time with them. I haven't met the right person for me yet, but when I do, I think they'll love that too. So yeah, but are they at the other end of what they say, at the very end of their bit of that story about, you know, share a moment of brief mutual love and then never see each other? I wouldn't like that. To me, that would be like ripping my heart out. I'd be so upset. I'm a hyper romantic, and you know, I couldn't share. I wouldn't want to share a brief moment of mutual love and then leave each other. I think that was horrible. I'm not that type of person at all. I'm not into casual relationships. I'm the actual opposite. I don't like casual relationships whatsoever, personally. I can't be doing with them. Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking for me, personally. Right. So, Victoria's story. Asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction. As an asexual, what does this mean for you? And I think a train's going to come past now because I live near a train station, but I'm absolutely, I don't know if you can see it, very hot in here. It's like really hot, so I can't close the window because it's just sweltering in here in the UK. So anyway, Victoria's story. Asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction. As an asexual, what does this mean for you, Victoria? To me, it means that no one has ever turned me on. Whether that person was Brad Pitt, Shay Mitchell, or the person I was in love with. Now, the thing is, turn on is very subjective. Because you could say that someone arouses you without you actually feeling sexual attraction for them. So, for example, if they're doing something physical with you that made you aroused and essentially turned you on, but it didn't turn you on to actually wanting sex. So I think that's a very interesting debate, really. Okay, so this is Callie's story. Asexuality is a lack of sexual attraction. As an asexual, what does this mean for you, Callie? I think the best way I've ever heard it explained, and the way I usually explain it to others, is that the feeling that you get, general you, when you see someone you think is good looking and you would like to get to know them on an intimate level. Well, I've never had that feeling. So, you know, I do have the feeling I want to get intimate, but not the sex, you know? So I do have the feeling if I'm really strongly romantically attracted to someone, I literally want to kiss them and cuddle them and really be physically close, but with my clothes on, like really, like intertwined with them, like my legs intertwined with them and my body like with theirs, like that, but with my clothes on. I have no desire to take my clothes off because I don't experience sexual attraction. I don't want sex with them. I just want to feel them close to me, but I don't want sex. So that's very interesting because obviously, you know, it's they've never wanted to get to know them on an intimate level. Again, intimacy can be lots of different things. Intimacy can be you know, intimacy can be obviously sex, which is, I think, what Callie's getting at. But intimacy can be a lot of other things. Intimacy, like I said, I mean, I love kissing a guy a lot. So that is intimacy. I like being really, really close to a guy with my clothes on. So, like, if I'm, you know, if I had a boyfriend, I like be kissing, I'd be on top of him kissing him with my legs intertwined with his, and, you know, like, you know, kissing him. And I keep talking about kissing because I love kissing so much. And so that's very intimate. But, you know, just holding someone's hands. Really, I was talking about this last night on my live stream. You know, when you hold someone, when I hold someone's hands that I really love and I'm really romantically attracted to, you know, and I've got their hands in my hands and I'm looking directly at them into their eyes. This is very intimate, you know. This is very intimate. It's like I'm looking into your eyes. Oh my gosh, here we go. This is comments health. Your comments health review, Calvin. Hi there. It's very personal. I might sound rude, but do you not masturbate? Like, what about the urge? I'm just curious if you don't mind me asking. Well, Calvin, really, it's personal question, isn't it? But I don't get the urge for sex. So whether I masturbate is really irrelevant. I mean, I get high arousal levels, but I don't experience any sexual attraction. So if I want to masturbate myself, then that's because I'm I'm having a nice time with myself, not because of anyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, arousal and sexual attraction are two completely separate things. But obviously, if you're a normal sexual person, such as a heterosexual person, which most of the population is, then when a heterosexual experiences sexual attraction to someone, they get aroused at the same time. Whereas with an asexual person, they can get aroused in their body without it being aimed at anyone or linked to anyone or without anyone even causing it. Do you know what I mean? So if I masturbate, it's because I'm enjoying a good time with myself, not because of any person. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So, but some asexuals that lack sexual attraction, they don't experience any arousal. I happen to. It's just normal for my body to experience arousal, but a lot of asexuals, you know, don't even feel aroused by stuff or people or anything. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends on the individual asexual as to whether they masturbate or not. But just because someone masturbates doesn't mean to say they're not asexual. But obviously, if they look at a person and think, I want sex with you, then that's sexual attraction, which is what the topic of this video has been, that I've been talking about. Sexual attraction basically is the need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse, which I don't get. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't have to have it anymore, thank God. So yeah, there are thousands of asexuals around the globe, just that it's still not well known about. So, you know, I'm on two websites. One's got over 50,000 people on it, another's got over 60,000. So there's thousands of asexuals around the globe. There's lots of people who don't experience sexual attraction, but obviously the majority of the population still does. So asexuals are 1%, recorded 1% of the population. So yeah, 1 in every 100 people you meet is likely to be asexual. And the more I talk to people, the more I find people that are asexual. It's kind of weird. So there's even a guy at my local pet shop. Yeah, that does make sense. In my opinion, it's still in some way sexual, even if there's no other person involved. But I see where that line is drawn. Yeah. So if you experience so I mean, you still see it's in some way sexual because it's a sexual act with yourself. That's probably why you still see it as sexual, because I've been in heterosexual relationships for half of my life, pretty much. So I understand heterosexuals. I know how the sexual attraction works and how normally a heterosexual would feel and think. So a heterosexual would think that sexual attraction, arousal, any sex acts would all come under sexual, and anyone who does any of those things would be sexual not asexual because of the stereotypes of asexuality and the lack of understanding of it. That's the problem. They would, because heterosexuals tend to clump all of that together, don't you? You're going to think that sexual attraction, sexual desire around, you might think sexual attraction, sexual desire is different. So sexual desire is like when some people go out to a club and they just literally want sex with anyone because they want the sex. So that's sexual desire. They desire the sex itself, no matter where it comes from. And then the sexual attraction is when they're attracted to a specific person sexually, as in I want sex specifically with that person because I'm sexually attracted to them and I want it, like with that, just, they're selective, in other words. Like I like going clubbing, but I don't go there for sex. I go there to dance, and a lot of the time dance on my own and look at the walls and things. So not to attract guys to want sex with me, even if they do. And I don't, I can feel the sexual attraction from them. I can feel the sexual energy because I'm kind of used to sexuals fancying me all the time. It's a bit annoying, really, but it's nice in a way. It's flattering, and another way, it's just inconvenient. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm clearly not interested. There was a guy, I don't know if you do watch this channel sometimes, there's a guy who was walking by me when I was going into the city. I think this was over a week ago. And he was so attracted to me. I was walking and he literally turned his bicycle around in this garage, this place that does up cars. They do MOTs and things. So he literally went all the way around just to see what I looked like because he could only see me from the back. And it was like, oh, I like her from the front now. And then he went over to the other side of the road and I was thinking, what's he doing? It's really weird. He was outside this old people's nursing home and I'm thinking maybe he's visiting someone, but he's just sat there. He's not actually moving, facing me. And the traffic's coming, like past him. And anyway, when I went over the traffic lights, he looked at me. So I said hi and then walked by. And then when I was quite way up the road, he came after me and was asking me out on a date. He actually said those words, I would like to take you out on a date. And I said, I'm asexual, I said, I don't want sex. And he goes, I didn't ask you for sex. I asked you for a coffee because he said we can go for coffee. But I said, yeah, but it'll lead to sex, and that's the difficulty with being asexual and the majority of the world being heterosexual, of course, is because I can't just go out for a date like that if I'm personally sex repulsed these days. I'm not into sex at all. I've had it in the past. I don't want it ever again. That was before I knew I was asexual. So, and I couldn't, a few years after my last sexual relationship, I just realized I couldn't have sex anymore. I just can't bring myself to do it. I just don't want it. I don't like it. I don't need it. But I love kissing, loads of kissing. But obviously, heterosexuals, heterosexuals can't just kiss without wanting sex, as we know, and if there are a few guys that can withhold, but I mean, they can't do it long term in a long-term relationship. The majority of them, there are a few I know, but the majority of them need their sex. And so I'm monogamous. So it's no point in dating that guy and having a coffee with him because I know ultimately a few dates down the line, he will want sex, even if he likes my personality, and I can't give him that. I'm not interested. I don't need that in my life. I don't like it. I could be thinking of so much more I'd rather be doing. Even if you're not interested, do you see it as a compliment if a guy asks you out? If it's respectful, of course. Calvin, yeah, I do. I did see that as a compliment. Yeah, not all asexuals do, though. Some asexuals are like, leave me alone. And some asexuals don't like the attention. So I'm very different to most asexuals. I'm an extrovert, which a lot of asexuals aren't. They're introverted. So I'm an extrovert. I like attention. I'm not going to deny it. Obviously, I don't need sexual attention like is and want a guy wanting sex with me. I don't need that. But I do like attention, as in, I like it if a guy thinks I'm attractive, even though I don't want sex with him. So yeah, when he asked me out, it was a compliment because he was stunned by my beauty. I can't like sugarcoat it because his whole behavior was weird. Literally he was coming past me from the back and he went in a garage just to turn around and come out and see me. A guy doesn't do that unless they're pretty smitten with the initial whoa, what a woman type thing, you know what I mean? Because I do know how guys think. And so yeah, I thought it was really nice compliment. He was older than I'd usually go for, but he seemed, you know, for his age, I'm guessing he worked out a bit. He seemed quite fit in that respect. I think a lot of women would probably have liked him. He's not my usual type. I usually prefer younger foreign guys. But yeah, I thought it was a compliment. I thought it was nice. And it was done in a respectful way as well. So like you say, yeah, if it's respectful, I mean, I get other guys that are just not respectful, you know, and they're just being disgusting with me, and I'm like, I'm not interested, you know, I like run the other way. So yeah, I think it's really nice. I mean, I do know there are very, very few people who are sexual who can have a full term relationship without sex, but they're very, very few and far between. Because obviously, if a heterosexual gets with an asexual, they would need to masturbate themselves all the time if they were going to be monogamous or use sex toys and stuff like that to stimulate themselves, you know? Because obviously, if they were monogamous, I mean, some asexuals don't mind their partner being polyamorous, so they don't mind them seeing other people having their sex elsewhere. I am not into that. I believe I should be treated as well. You know, I deserve the monogamy that heterosexual would have. Just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say I don't deserve that monogamy. And I realised that, you know, if a guy can't live without sex, don't be with me, because I wouldn't want him to be with me and be wanting that all the time when I can't do that. I don't want to, and it's not comfortable for me, and I don't like it. You know, so it is very difficult. Especially when I particularly do get a lot of attraction for guys, just not sexual. I don't get platonic attraction either. So that makes it very difficult, because a lot of asexuals, they're stereotypically experience platonic attraction. There's this big kind of stereotype where asexuals just want a best friend, like just want a platonic relationship, and that's simply not the case for someone like myself, who's a heteromantic asexual. I'm actually a hyperromantic, so I have huge romantic levels all the time. I'm excessively romantic, and I have huge arousal levels. But I'm nudity repulsed. I don't even like taking my clothes off. Can't stand it. I don't like looking at naked people on TV, in films, sculptures, paintings. I think everyone should be clothed. And I think a guy looks so much more gorgeous in the right clothes. Like, there's certain clothes and I just want to snog him. You know, if he wears sort of a leather jacket, black jeans and a white t-shirt, and he's got short dark hair and he's clean shaven, I really love that look. I think it's really, really good if he's young as well. You know, I like guys in their 20s usually. So I really, really like that look. And if he's wearing street clothes, I like the street look as well. So street dance movies, you know, like Step Up movies. I love all those Step Up movies. They are so good. And I really like the guys, because I'm into younger guys. I really like the guys, the clothes they wear, you know, even down to the baseball cap that I have on backwards. But, you know, they've got the t-shirt, the baggy tops there, the baggy jeans, and they're just doing their dancing, because I love dancing as well. So I find the dancing really super attractive. And they've usually got really cute faces, like Boy Next Door faces. I like that as well, because it's kind of sweet and innocent. And I like I like the clothes they wear. I like the street look. It's really nice. And then another look I like is a suit. So going to sort of a more formal business thing. So like when a guy wears a really nice black pair of trousers, white shirt with like a bow tie. He doesn't have to have a bow tie, but, you know, like a black jacket, like a tuxedo type thing. And he's got short dark hair, clean shaven. I really like that look as well. Obviously the Bollywood look, because I'm attracted to Indian guys a lot. So there's a lot of aesthetic attraction I get. Creative attraction. If a guy's doing a lot of creative pursuits, I get a lot of creative attraction. I'm attracted to them a lot more if they're doing something, say they're a musician or they write, like I'm a writer myself, you know. If they're doing you know, like, attracted to guys who build websites, because I'm really into building websites, and I can't code. So if a guy talks to me about websites, I find that very intelligently attractive. So I get intelligence attraction as well. I get clothes attraction, which I've talked to you about. I didn't label it clothes attraction though. Aesthetic, obviously, with the clothes and similar type of thing, but aesthetics in his face. So I'm not interested in a guy below the waist. So whereas every other women pretty much that's sexual in the world, they get attracted to a guy below the waist. They really want that. I don't. You know, I just like this face. That's what I get attracted to: his face, his hair, his shoulders as well. So just like this kind of triangular bit the most. That's what I get attracted to. If he's got a nice looking face. then I mean, I just can look at a picture and think he's really good. I'd like to kiss him because I like looking at his picture just by his face. If it's not a fake picture, which a lot of them kind of are on the internet, aren't they? So you've got to be really careful. So yeah, I experience lots of attraction, creative, intelligent, emotional attraction as well. And I can separate the different types of attraction, which is very bizarre because when I lived in the heterosexual world, as it were, and I, you know, when I was in a heterosexual relationships, I would never separate all these different attractions. I would never be able to see that because I'm asexual. I've been helping asexuals since 2015, so I've been doing this a long time now. I can separate all the different types of attractions people can get usually, which is kind of a really strange gift to have, I think. And so I can say, you know, like, you know, that guy I'm aesthetically attracted to, I'm close attracted to him. And maybe if he's doing website design, I'm intelligently attracted to him as well. And if he was a younger foreign guy, Indian, I'll probably be romantically attracted to him as well. But some guys I can just be romantically attracted to, but not aesthetically, which is weird. That's the weirdest one for me because usually in the past, romance and aesthetics would always go together. If I was romantically attracted to someone, I would always be aesthetically attracted to them too. But since discovering I'm asexual in 2014, I have actually met guys that I've been romantically attracted to, but not aesthetically. But however, when I get to know their personality more and more and more, I can then become attracted to them aesthetically more because I love the heart of the person, and the heart shines their light on all their beauty, and therefore it makes their face light up to me and makes their face more attractive, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think attraction's a big topic, and I think obviously in the normal heterosexual world, attraction's not really split. You know, you are, you know, usually you're sexually attracted to someone, you get aroused by them, you usually want to take their clothes off, which I don't. You'd usually be attracted probably to their face, their hair, their body, obviously. You know, and that would be mainly, you know, you'd feel romance for them, you'd have some emotional attachment, usual connection to them in some way, and they're kind of all lumped together in one big ball of attraction. Whereas with asexuality, and particularly with myself, I can separate multiple different types of attraction. So for some guys I could just be intelligently attracted to them, or some guys I could just be creatively attracted to them, because they're doing creative pursuits, and it's like I'm really drawn to that person, I really want to get to know them. But usually a lot of the time I do experience romance with quite a lot of these people as well, because I'm a hyper romantic, so I usually have that romance and one other type of attraction as well to go with it. So, but not always the case. I've been attracted to a couple of people romantically. No, one romantically, but not aesthetically to begin with, although I was getting really aesthetically attracted to him as time progressed because we're such good friends. And then there was one guy years ago, I was intelligently attracted to him because he used to be into website building, but I wasn't aesthetically attracted to him. And there was another guy I was spiritually attracted to, which I haven't brought up, and but I wasn't, and he was aesthetically good looking, but I wasn't really attracted to him in any other way. So yeah, it's kind of weird to be able to separate all the different types of attraction. But you know, sexual attraction, I just don't experience. I've never experienced it in my life, even though, you know, I've been in heterosexual relationships with my past partner that was good at sex, my last long-term ex. You know, I never looked at him and thought, I want sex with you, I'm dying to have sex. So, you know, I would rather be doing other stuff, even washing up, which I hate, and listening to music. I find that better for me because I'm just don't want the intercourse. I like some of the other stuff, some of the touching and the kissing, but again, I'm very funny on where I like to be touched. There's certain places I will be touched in a serious committed relationship, and there's other places I just don't want it. So I will tell the person that at the time. And if I date any heterosexuals, I'll be very clear and explicit that I'm asexual, that they're not going to have sex with me. It's not on the table. And if they get any physicality, I'll tell them where they can and can't touch, you know, and be very careful. But I'm careful who I choose. Most of the time I don't date heterosexuals anymore. There's no point. So yeah, the majority of the time I don't. Maybe once a year I might. Because I think, you know, maybe there's just a chance they might be able to live without sex. The people that I've dated that have been heterosexual, they've all said they're fine with not having sex. But saying that, especially to begin with, and actually a long-term relationship is completely different. I don't think any of those guys would have been long-term for me, looking back on it, you know. So that's probably why they could do what they did and just kiss me and enjoy it in that moment because they weren't looking for something any serious, or they don't have the capacity to commit. Whereas I'm really looking for a serious, long-term, committed relationship with an asexual person, but I haven't found the right asexual guy for me yet. Many guys I find are not strong enough for me. I mean, a lot of guys don't even know how to be strong in a very good way. You know, they're either too strong with their ego and too manly, or they're too weak the opposite way. You know, they need to be embracing their masculinity, but embracing their femininity as well, embracing their empathy, embracing their sympathy, embracing their emotions, but also need to man up, you know, and know what they want in life, where they're headed, who they want, where, you know, exactly, have the life plan, you know, the first year, the year plan, the 5-year plan, you know, do they want marriage, do they want kids, do they want commitment, do they not, you know exactly where they're going in their life, their goals, ambitions and dreams, their life purpose. So they need to have a plan, you know, and a lot of guys, they just don't. I mean, I'm talking about guys because I'm only interested in guys. I'm heteroromantic, so I'm hetero as in attracted just to the opposite gender, which is guys, because I'm female, born female and female. So you know, it gets a bit difficult because I'm only attracted to guys, but not in the same way as the majority of the population is. So it can be very difficult sometimes, but you know, especially when I can't find the right asexual guy. I mean, I've been on asexual dating sites since 2014, so there are asexual dating sites, you know, there's sites for people like us. But what's really sad in my experience is if sex is not involved, then people don't tend to pursue a relationship. And I think that's really sad because I'm a hyper romantic, because I'm really wanting a relationship. I would pursue, but obviously traditionally guys are meant to pursue the relationship, not the women. And I will pursue a little, and I will make the first move. I will also ask the guy out, but there's only so much I want to do with that, because it's like, you know, I don't want to be feeling like I'm doing all the work all the time and doing all the effort and putting all the time in when they're not bothering. And in the end, I'll just be like, okay, forget it. And I've got more important things to do with my life. And I don't pursue them because I've got nothing to do with my own life. I'm really, really busy. So when a guy then turns around to me and goes, oh, I've been really busy today, or I've got an amount of work to do, I kind of don't feel sorry for them in that way. I'm thinking, well, you know, sometimes I'm coming home and I'm working through the night till 4 a.m. And I might, you know, work through it, you know, like on websites. Or I got a new book for asexuals called Asexual Sex Stories, actually, which I think even some heterosexuals will want to read, because it's a really good read, because the stories in it are coming from asexuals, but they're really getting into the minds of asexuals and how it feels for us to have sex, and how the experiencing for us, you know. And it's got asexuals in the book that have different experiences, some that are, you know, sex positive, or have had the positive experience, and some asexuals that haven't had a positive experience. And I think that insight will be so good for not just asexuals to hear, and they need this book, because obviously some asexuals will try sex and they don't really know what they're doing, because it's not something they actually think about in their being and their soul and their mind. It's not on their mind, you know. But it will also be very insightful for the heterosexuals and other sexuals, you know, bisexuals, homosexuals, pansexuals, because it will give great insight into actually how asexuals think and feel whilst having sex, and what they think about and stuff, which might be different angle. And so we're, you know, for example, there might be one asexual that thinks more in practical terms about what to do with their body. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the heterosexual would just be like, let's get on with it and do it, you know? Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, because to an asexual, sex is not natural usually to them, and they don't have a natural ability for, or natural thinking about it. They kind of will think about it more mechanically and more systematically and more clinically in what to do, really. Not all asexuals. There's asexuals in my book that aren't like that. You know, I haven't got it finished yet. I'm still working with the people who are putting their stories in the book. And I'm working with edits. It's like a collaboration between me and the people, the asexuals in the book. And I'm really happy with the way it's going. I've been working on it all weekend, this weekend, with 5 different stories from the book, backwards and forwards, with the owners of the, you know, the interviewees. and it's coming on really nicely, and I've been like helping them to expand their stories, because as a writer I've got to bring out the story in them, and I've also got to expand on certain things that the reader will want to know with their particular story without giving their whole life story away. Do you know what I mean? So it just focuses so specifically on sex, on them losing their virginity, or what it felt like to have sex for the first time, on the good sexual experiences they had, the bad sexual experiences they had, the fugly, which is basically means fuck ugly, experiences they've had. And it also gives advice to other asexuals about, like the physical preparation for sex, the mental preparation, the emotional preparation for it, and just general advice. And so it's really good, because obviously there's, asexuals are going to come out more and more. A lot of us are in hiding still. I'm not. But, as time goes by, more asexuals become, well known, and asexuality becomes better known. More heterosexuals have a likelihood of getting into a situation where they end up dating someone that is asexual, and they don't realize it. So the more heterosexuals understand asexuality, and there are people out there, if you don't want to be with someone who never wants sex or who doesn't like it, for example, not every asexual doesn't want it and doesn't like it, but the majority of us don't want it and don't like it, and so if you're starting to date a person, it's very wise to actually ask their sexual orientation as one of the first questions when you go on the date. It might not be very romantic, but it's practical, and you need to know it, because they might be scared to tell you. Most asexuals are frightened. They don't want to say to a heterosexual, I'm an asexual, because they're afraid of rejection, and they're afraid of all the intrusive questions they'll get out, like the masturbation one you asked me. And and they just get really scared. And it's better for both of you if you're just upfront and honest, and if they have come to have a date because they, nice to be asked, isn't it? I mean, some asexuals, they would have just said yes to that, and then you could, I could have said yes, and I could have told him when I was in his company, he could have got to know me, thought, oh, she's a lovely lass, and and then you could have a glimmer of hope of maybe he wouldn't want that. But I know inherently from my experience for years that the majority of heterosexuals are going to want it. And especially if he was so mesmerized by my body, clearly someone who's really into the body, usually the majority of the time, is wanting sex, especially if they're the average person who's usually heterosexual. The way his behavior was I really want her body, because he liked me from the back, then he turned around to check me out from the front to make sure I looked as good as I did on the back, which obviously if he's looking at my back, he's looking at my backside, isn't he, and the way my hips go in. And then if he's looking at me front, he's looking at my face and boobs, to be honest with you. So, you know what I mean? He's looking at the whole experience. And then it was really weird, because I was coming back from the vets to get my guinea pig some diabetic medication, because she's diabetic. She lives with my parents. They inject her, so I go and visit her. And there was this other guy, and I was just walking down the street, and there was this other guy on a bicycle with a van behind him, and his head went whoosh like that, and he went whoa, and he was staring at my chest, which I just wore a t-shirt. It was quite a clingy t-shirt, and I'm not showing any flesh whatsoever, and he fancied obviously my boobs, and it's like, I have got brain, do you know what I mean? And so it's very weird, it's like, well, thanks for finding my boobs attractive, but I am here, I am a person. Do you just want me to take them off or something? Do you know what I mean? Like, separate my boobs like a robot. But I can't do that, unfortunately. So you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do that either. But yeah, it becomes very difficult, I think. But I do know a few people that are, there's one in my I was originally reading from this book. This is my first book out. There is a person in here, and they're asexual, and they're with a bisexual, and they said the lack of sex, not having sex didn't matter to the bisexual person. So it can be that there's some people that don't want sex, that are actually heterosexuals or sexuals that are sex repulsed, but they still experience a sexual attraction. So an asexual is someone who doesn't experience sexual attraction, but you could equally have a sexual person who was sex repulsed, but they're still heterosexual, or still bisexual, homosexual, pansexual, because but they're sex repulsed, but the fact they still experience sexual attraction means they're not actually asexual, they're just a sex repulsed sexual. So you can get those as well. So it's a very, very interesting topic. Anyway, Calvin, I hope I've answered all your questions. And if anyone else has got any more questions, please leave them in the comments below in the meantime. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to share this video with a friend, please do. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post new video. And I will see you on the next video or live stream. Take care. Bye.